I have the biggest craving for candy today, so let's get started making dulces enchilados.
We got some sour belts. We got the good old peach rings. Some more sour belts, gummy bears, and gummy worms. With a little bit of a twist, Nerds gummy clusters. I needed a much larger bowl, so let's get started. We want to get this nice and mixed up for when we pour the chamoy on it. Everything is all mixed together. You get a bunch of different candies in each little jar that you make. Step number 2, get you a medium-sized pot and add a little bit of water because we're going to start melting our pulparindos. You're going to want to boil your pulparindos on like a low to medium heat. I have mine on almost to medium, and I put 5.5 in there because I took a bite out of one. But you can put as many as you want, up to your discretion, because I'm doing this whole recipe off the top of my head. I'm not following one. I just got the ingredients I wanted, and I'm kind of playing it by ear. But I'm going to try to make it for you guys and give you measurements. Now that our pulparindo is nice and melted, we're going to add 2 cups of chamoy mega original sauce. For our next addition, we're going to add 1 cup of Furritos pulpa. Now that we got that bubbling, for our dry ingredients, we're going to add 1 whole cup of Miguelito dulce en polvo. Make sure you keep a pretty consistent stir on this. You don't want it to start burning on the bottom of the pan. Our next dry ingredient is going to be a quarter or a little less than a quarter of tahini. Now that we got that nice and mixed up, we're going to add 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. This will help thicken it up, and it'll also make it a little bit sweeter. Now you can skip this step if you don't really like spice, but I'm going to add a little bit of spice to it with New Mexico molido picante.
Now let's set this off to the side while we prepare our dry rub.
Now making our dry rub is super simple.
We have tajín twist. Next is Miguelitos en polvo. And finally, our tajín clásico.
Mix that all together, and this is going to be our topper for our dulces enchilados. Next step, that our chamoy is now cooled, but still a little warm, we want to pour it all over our candy. You're going to want some gloves for this next part, because it's about to get messy. Now that we're all gloved up, let's get to mixing.
Now it's time to add our candy and chamoy to the dry rub. Make sure it gets into every nook and cranny. This is what it's going to look like as a final product. For this recipe, it made about 4 of these Tupperware containers. So if you want a smaller batch, you'll need to use about a quarter of each of the ingredients that I used. Full disclosure, while this recipe did come out really good and tastes great, you're going to want to wait a little bit longer on your chamoy to cool off. Wait till it fully cools, because when I put mine in, it was a little too hot and it did melt some of the gummies just a little bit.